Hi, today we are going to make service for the Shimano hub of 3 gears. As you can see here, the model. Here there is a problem with this wheel. It is rotating very slowly and there is something problem inside this hub. We have to open and see what is wrong. Removing the gearbox here, and under it there is an axle nut and other side as well, and this screw. So now I have removed the wheel. I will tighten it in the frame like this, and I open the left side. So I have to remove all those pieces from here, and then we will see inside what is going on. Okay, now I will pull this out. Immediately I can see that, you can see the bearing balls is damaged. So this is the cause of the problem of the hub inside. Here you can see the bearing balls are really bad and totally broken. So this is the brake, controlling the brake. So now we have to put a new bearing balls and clean inside the hub and put the grease. You can remove the hub just by pulling out. You can see the hub here. You can see the hub is quite in good condition. So I think all the parts are in, is okay, are okay, no problem I think. So just to make cleaning and adjust the brake shoes and add the new bearing balls, and that is it. Okay, in order to remove the small parts of the hub, I have to remove the clip here. You just switch it, the screwdriver, but hold it so it doesn't fly. You can remove all the pieces, 1 and 2. Also the bearing balls there, they looks very old. So in order to remove the bearing balls, remember there is those springs. You have to push down when you are pulling the bearing balls out. So here is the bearing balls. Actually it doesn't look bad. So we can clean it or we can replace it also as well. So now this side is okay. We have removed everything. So I will switch to the other side. And also there is another bearing ring here. We have to check if it is okay or not. So in order to switch to the right side, I tied the axle like this. So you can use the same nuts of the axle, so it will be easy for you to open this side. Now we will open this side all and see the bearing balls here. As you can see here is the bearing balls. It looks a little old, so it's better to replace it by a new one. And this is the unit, the drive unit. We can remove it like that, and then clean everything. Okay, so now I am going to replace the bearing balls and this nut also. Where small bearing balls come here. This is new. You can see here it's quite good. So the old one, you can see the differences. The old one is worn out away. You can see the silver color here. That means it is used or worn out. And here something important about the brake shoes. The brake shoes, when it is new, there is no space. When you make like that, there is no space. And this brake shoes, the ring, it should be in the middle. Here, the connection part should be in the middle. From the old one, I can notice that you see the ring, the little bit getting wide, and there is a lot of space, and the ring also has moved. You can see to this here, it should be here in the middle. So this makes the brakes squeeze when you push the pedal back. So it has to be changed. Those three parts, and this as well will be changed, replaced. So now this is the unit, the drive unit. I have to put the bearing balls here inside. Okay, but make sure those springs don't get broken. So this direction it has to go. So now this the bearing bolts are inside. So remember, when you put it to the axle, you have to push those two springs. So in order you have space for the axle, like that. And here is the axle. And yes. Now I will add the bearing balls and the grease, and then tight it. Okay, they should be inside until the end. And remember the bearing balls, when you put it, remember the direction, correct direction. So now I tied this until the end, until it reach the end. Make sure they are tight enough. So now I switch it to the other side, and as you can see, now we have to insert this one. There's also springs here, remember, push them and put inside. So you will face a little challenge as there is two springs inside. Those two springs has to be pushed inside by a screwdriver maybe. At the same time push this inside. Now I succeeded to put it inside. So to make sure it is situated well, push this until the end, but hold in the same time this and those two springs. So this has to go until the end. to make sure it is working well. Push those two springs and in the same times push this inside. So it makes sure everything is fine. So now it's fine. Now I will put this piece, after greasing of course, inside, and make sure here this slot is clear, because you have to insert the clips here. Now push by the pliers inside. Yeah, it is locked. So now we will add the brakes here, brake shoes. So here is the brake shoes. Remember, this direction it should go. And here the place, this piece, it should match with the brake shoes here. Open a little. Now it's fine. Now I will put the hub of the wheel slowly and carefully. Try not to touch much. And then push. It should look like that when the hub is inside correctly. Okay, now you can see the brake shoes and the other side also here, which should fit with the brake shoes. So I have to make sure it is inside correctly. Yeah. It should be fine now. Now I have tightened the nuts, so make sure those two nuts are tied very well and not moving separately. So I have to use 22 and 17 keys and try to tie them against each other so they will stay together. So like this way. And make sure it is not so tight, the hub, and not too loose. So it should be suitable so that the wheel can move freely. So the other side as well, also tied the nuts against each other so they stay together. Now I I put the wheel back and you can see it is rotating freely. So I tied this screw and the other one, and make sure this is more tight than the other side, left side, because this is the drive side and the pulling side of the chain, so it has to be tight more. And then you add the gearbox here, the switch box of the gears inside, and tie this screw with a gentle way, so don't tighten it too hard because it can break easily. So one more note, make sure this is the piece that is switching the gears inside when you are removing the gears in the handlebar. Make sure it is straight, not bended, because if it is bended, then the movement it will be very hard and the gear will not work smoothly. And you can lubricate it with oil, only oil, not grease, because if you add grease it will be hard to move. So only oil is enough, and make sure it is straight. And in order to make sure the gears are working fine, you can test it by switching number 2, and it should be in the midline between the two lines. That means the gears are good. So now this has to be a little bit tight, and you can adjust it from here by opening this. You can adjust it. So now number 2 is in the sign is in the middle of the two lines. That means the gears are working proper, in good condition. Yeah, smoothly and nicely. I hope this video is beneficial for the people who are facing problems with the gears and with the hub service. Thank you very much.